What's going on, Grumpies? This is Commissioner Bathroom Bandit. Sorry about last week. Uh, last week, man, I was hurting, man. I was hurting. I had a cough slash cold, and just every 2 seconds, I couldn't even barely breathe, man. That cough had my whole body so bad. Man, so hurting so bad. I went to the Dolphins game this weekend, y'all, with my boy Jesse, because he a huge Dolphin fan. So I went to show a little support. Went to the game with him, and of course, it was a horrible game up until the fourth quarter when the Dolphins and Ryan Fitzmagic came in there, led the team back with two amazing touchdown drives, and of course, Dolphins in typical Dolphins fashion fucked it up by instead of going for the extra point to tie the game, sending it to overtime, they went for two and completely destroyed the 2 point conversion. It didn't have a chance from the beginning, and they lost. All right. I'm a little hoarse from that game because I was showing out, being loud and obnoxious like the rest of the Dolphins. But hey, it is what it is. I had a good time. Let me start this recap real quick. Bathroom Bandits versus Wu-Tang Clan. And the Wu-Tang Clan is just spiraling downward. The Wu-Tang Clan, led by Devontae Freeman with 28, Patrick Mahomes, who was an early draft and undeserving so far because his numbers haven't really justified being drafted in the early rounds. He scored 27, which is cool, but it ain't what you drafted him early for. On the other side, I had Kyler Murray, my 10th round draft pick with 42. Zeke gave me 29, and the Broncos defense stepped up and gave me 35 points. Otherwise, I ain't have anybody else to really talk very highly about. But hey, 166, high score of the week, I'll take it. Bathroom Banners improves to 4-2. Wu-Tang Clan drops to 1-5. Next matchup, the Paradise Raiders versus Belichick's Hoodies. And this one wasn't very close at all. 119 to 151 in favor of Belichick's Hoodies, led by Mr. David Johnson, his 29 points. Also, Tommy Touchdown, the GOAT, gave him 26. Jules, his Robin to Batman, gave him 22. And as for Paradise Raiders, he had a big night, huge night for Matt Ryan, 45 points. Kenny Galladay gave him 19. And that was it. He had 6 people that didn't break 8 points or more. So it was overall a horrible team effort. Paradise Raiders, you dropped to 2-4. Belichick's Hoodies, you improved to 5-1. Next matchup. Now this one was a very good matchup. Highest combined score of the week. Twat Waffles 165, Floridians 154. Twat Waffles, uh, looking down the scoreboard, he had four guys in the 20s, which was Mike Evans, Austin Hooper, Golden Tate, and the Redskins defense. Uh, Nobody else really stood out, but they had some good performances nonetheless. Couple teens. Um, just one stinker, and that was Aaron Jones uh, in the Monday Night Football game. He dropped that touchdown pass. That Aaron Jones would have had a much bigger score. Floridians, you had Nick Chubb with 30, James Conner with 32. So your running backs led the way, man. Dak Prescott gave you 20, but that was it. Adam Thielen 17, and just from that point, it was like 12 points or less, So, hey, you dropped the 2-4 Floridians, Twat Waffles. You improved to 5-1. Very impressive records. Um, Next matchup, we got the Kingpin versus Micah Leckerhide, Micah Heidi Ho. And Kingpin for the second week in a row got his ass kicked, 124 to 162. Kingpin, you had Alshon with 23. George Kittle gave you 20. And the big one in this was Will Dissly getting hurt, giving you 0. And of course, you throwing Malcolm Brown in there, and that was, oh boy, that was a disappointment. Malcolm Brown with just 4 points. Michael Lecker Hyde, you had to make up for Jared Goff's 1 point performance, but Stephon Diggs did the job with 46 points, 3 touchdowns. And Chris Carson gave you 29 to go along with the 49ers 23. So, Michael Lekahai, Micah Heidi Ho, you improved to 4-2. And Mr. Kingpin, you 3-3. I'm going to tell you something, Kingpin. If I don't see you this week, dog, I'm going to put you on blast in front of everybody. I don't like to do it, but I don't like to be treated this way. And you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Come holler at me, bro. Seriously. Next matchup, we got Gangrene versus Deep Pockets, and that boy Deep Pockets got his first W of the season. 132 to 127, led by Mr. Aaron Rodgers and Scary Terry with 25 and 28. Leonard Fournette gave you 19. Now, mind you, you had a bunch of guys that didn't do squat. But on the other side of the table, Gangrene had a bunch of guys that didn't do squat either. Kyle Allen was one of his leaders with 23. He had Chris Godwin with 29 and Julio gave him 20, but that was pretty much it. Uh, so, hey, Gangrene, you just didn't have enough this week, man. Maybe that 1 point from Amari Cooper getting hurt in the first quarter, early in the first quarter with that one play, that probably is the reason you lost. As a matter of fact, that's definitely the reason you lost because I know Amari would have got you probably by 20. But nonetheless, you dropped to 3-3, and Deep Pockets celebrates that first win with 1-5. Next and final matchup, we got Miko's Marauders versus Old School. And Old School put one of them old school ass whoopers on them. 144 to 109, beating them by 35 points. It was a blowout. Russell Wilson leading the way with 37. Christian McCaffrey, believe it or not, it was a pretty mild week for him. Only had 21, but he did have 2 touchdowns. Carlos Hyde with 19. And the Patriots defense, the number one defense in the league with 32. As for Miko's Marauders, you had Tyreek Hill coming back with 25, and you had 3 guys with 13 points, and that was the bright spots of the day. So everybody else was trash. I know your team's better than this, but they just didn't show up. You dropped to 2-4. Old School, you improved to 4-2. All right, everybody, listen. We at the halfway point, and this league hasn't been very active with trading. I guess everybody in this league feels as if their team is the fucking bomb. But look, at some point in your life, you got to go ahead and grasp reality and say, my team isn't really that good and I really need to make a difference. If you 2-4 or you 1-5 at this point, you got to understand that it's not just going to magically get better. You're going to have to make some trades to improve the weaknesses in your team. I am trying to convince you to please start being more actively in the trade market, people. God damn. Make the shit interesting. Or not, and just let the good teams continue to whoop up on the bad teams. I mean, that's cool. It's all good with me because I'm one of the good ones. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same location, which is on the internet. And I have the week 7 recap ready for y'all. Good luck, everybody. I wish y'all the best, except for the team playing me. I just wish you a miracle because that's what it's going to take. Bathroom Bandits.